Hey, hi everyone, this is Mukesh Otwani from learn-automation.com. In this lecture, we are going to talk about what is wrapper classes in Java and how do we use it. Okay, so before we start, let me start with high-level agenda. So throughout the lecture, we will be talking about what exactly is wrapper classes in Java, different type of wrapper classes in Java, and we will also talk about the different examples like how do we use these wrapper classes, and we'll take some example of parsing and I will show you how to use them. Then we will be talking about very interesting concept called boxing and unboxing. So this is one of the favorite interview question as well. What is boxing? What is unboxing? What is auto boxing? What is auto unboxing? So we will be talking about each and everything about wrapper classes in detail. And the last and the most important point, why we need wrapper classes. Okay, because once you understand the principle, the next question comes into the mind, why we need them. So we will be talking about this point in last, so make sure you watch the video till the end. So let's jump into what is wrapper classes. So wrapper classes are predefined classes in Java which can contain the primitive data type. So guys, if you're completely new to primitive data type, then I made my first video on Java series, what is primitive data type, different kind of primitive data type we covered, right? So if you're completely not sure about what is primitive data type, I would recommend you to watch my previous video. I will put the link in the description. But for the time being, just keep this point in the mind, it can contain primitive data type. So once you move forward, definitely I will be taking multiple examples so you will get this thing in detail. Okay, so now the moment you say wrapper, what does it mean? It will wrap, right? So this wrapper class mainly is dealing with the wrapping part. So it will wrap your primitive value or primitive data into a wrapper class object. Okay, so to explain you this part, let me show you the different wrapper classes that we have. So in the left hand side, you can see we have all the primitive data type, right? Boolean, byte, character, float, int, long, short, and double, right? Now for each and every primitive data type, Java has created a different wrapper class. So if you notice the difference, when you talk about primitive data type, they are variables, right? Or I will say they are the keywords. So keywords always start with a small letter. So you can see all the primitive data type is starting with a small letter. But when you talk about classes, by default, classes in Java starts with a capital letter. And for each and every primitive data type, we have a dedicated wrapper class. So it's very easy to remember. Only if you notice, for char we have character, for int we have integer. Rest everything is same. It's just you need to make the first letter is capital letter, and for int you need to remember integer. Char you need to remember character. That's what you need to remember. Now let me take few examples. Then you will get a clear idea about what is wrapper classes. Okay, so you can see the moment you start writing int equal to 10, or if I write integer equal to 10. So what does it mean? Let me take the example. So I will go back to my Eclipse. I will create one new package called wrapper classes demo. And guys, this is very interesting concept and you will be using this in multiple places once you start learning Selenium. And even if you go for development or even if you go for interviews, this is very frequently asked question. So let me start with, I will say first demo or wrapper. Let me take public static void main and let's write our first program. Okay, so let me increase the font size. Let me just remove this. So if I type int a equal to 100 and if I type integer, okay, oh sorry, so just remove this and write integer. So you can see the moment I type integer, I'm getting one suggestion that it is a class. So you can see a small symbol called C and it is coming from java.lang package. So if I type b equal to 100, now what is the difference? Let's do a small sys out. Okay, and we'll see. So I'm just printing a and I will be printing b as well. Just give me a couple of minutes, you will get a clear difference between normal data type versus wrapper classes. And I will say it's primitive. Okay, and here I will just write wrapper. and let's just print this. The moment I right click run as Java application, both is giving me 100 and 100. Fine, let me make it 200 so that at least we can identify the difference. Okay, perfect. Primitive is 100, wrapper 200. But when we are using print and it was not making any difference, right? But if you ask me what exactly they are, a is a variable which is containing value as 100 and it is of type integer. So a is just a variable of integer type which is holding 100 value. But here b is not a normal variable. Okay, it's a reference, or in simple words I will say it's an object of integer type which contains the value of 200. Along it also contains the reference of this object. Okay, just to show you the difference, I will put a debug point at line number 13. Okay, or let me put at line number 11. Let me debug this as Java application. I will say remember my choice, and you can see a is a variable. Very straightforward, a is a variable. The moment I execute the next statement, you can see b is not a variable. B is actually an object of integer type, right? And then it has a value of 200. Okay, that is the first difference. With the help of debug mode, we can easily understand a is just a normal variable, but b is an object of integer type which contains value as 200. Okay, I know you are still not convinced why still we need it. Just let me take a couple of examples and then you will be able to understand this. Now since it's a variable, I cannot do anything, right? I cannot say dot operator, I cannot do anything. But since it's an object, I can call the different method of integer wrapper class. Can you see? This is a huge list that integer class provide, and that we can use it. So I'm going to show you a couple of methods which we have to use in real time, and how to use it we will see one by one, but this is just a small hint in order to continue. Okay, so now another thing, whenever you have to parse any string into a respective data type, we have to use their respective wrapper classes. For example, okay, let me take another example for this. And guys, I will be using, let's say, Amazon for this example because I have to just cover one point here. Okay, so for example, I want to buy, let's say I want to buy some grocery. Okay, and let's say I want to buy this milk powder. The moment I click on this milk powder, I want to capture this particular price, right? Now when I capture this price will be coming as a string. If you remember, or once you move forward, you will see the moment I use getText method from Selenium, I will be getting this text as a string, but this is not a string. This is actually a price, which is integer, double, or it can be float as well, right? So if I have to parse this data, I have to use wrapper classes. For this, let me take a second demo wrapper, publish static void main. Okay, and let's assume for the time being that I have captured this price, and this price is coming, let's say same price I will take 463. Okay, and this is what the price is. Now I will click on add to cart button and I will go for another product. Let's say I want to use this coconut oil. So again I will be capturing this price, and I will be adding the first price with the second price, and I have to validate the sum is coming properly or not, right? So let's say another price, or I will say price 1 and price 2. So price 2, let's say I'm giving 237, right? Now if I want to calculate, if I want to verify, let's say if I say int result price 1 plus price 2, I cannot do that because this is a string, and how can I convert into integer? That's not possible. So And even if I just say, let's say print, okay, let's assume this is not a valid statement as we know. Let me print this and let's see what exactly it is going to return me. Okay, so I'm just giving price 1 and price 2. Okay, so you can see it is just a concatenation which is happening right now. It is not a proper operation. It's not arithmetic operation, it's a concatenation. It is just appending one string or concatenating one string with another string. So now here we need the wrapper classes. So wrapper classes will help you to convert from string to a respective data type. Okay, so in my case I have to convert first of all this into an integer, right? So I will say integer dot parse int. So you can see the moment I say parse int, first of all it's a static method. That is the reason I'm able to call with the class name, and I have to pass the string which I want to convert. In my case I want to convert price 1. So definitely the moment I put mouse over, you can see it is returning me integer value. Let's say I will say int p1 means pricing 1. Same thing I will do for this one. Again I will say integer dot parse int. I will pass price 2, and definitely this time I will also get p2, which is nothing but price 2, which is this. Now if I have to compare, if okay, let's do one thing. Let's do a sys out first of all. P1 plus P2. Now if I just run it, I will be getting the expected output, which is 700. Now I can finally deal with my conditions, right? I can just store this in a variable. Then I can do, let's say I will do the sum P1 P2, and I will say if sum is equal to 700, then I will say passed, otherwise failed. I'm just giving some dummy conditions, guys, just to make it really easy. But once you move forward, you will be getting the same thing in Selenium, or depends on application what kind of data you are capturing. So depends on the requirement, you can typecast or you can change into different data type. Okay, so let me just run this. Then in the second example I will show you some different examples. Okay, I hope it is clear now. The moment you have to parse from string to any other data type, you will be using wrapper classes again. Let's take the third example. So I will just change it to third demo. So now the question comes into mind that can we only do with integers? No, that's not the case. You can do with any other data type as well. Let's say I want to, actually the value is this and this is something like this, and I will make it 95. Okay, so if I convert this price 1 into this, okay, let's also print them P1 and P2. So when I try to convert them with the help of integers, you can see right now what is happening. It says number format exception, right, for string this. Because, and one more thing, if you just click on this line number, it says it is not able to parse because it can only parse into integers, but right now it's a double, right? So this is going to throw number format exception. So now in this case, as we know that it's a double value, right? Now in order to parse double value, I will be using double wrapper class. Okay, so let's take from java.lang and I will say parse double. Here I will pass the pricing 1, which will definitely going to return me I will say D1. Let's take P1, so otherwise I have to change the complete program. So I will make it P1 and P2. Only thing is I will be changing from integer dot int parse int2 double dot parse double. This is going to return me p2. When p1 p2 combines, definitely the result again will be double, and here I will just compare with this. Right, now let's run this, and here you go. So you can see now it is printing, and finally it is getting passed. What if I simply remove this? Okay, now let's run it once, and you will see we are getting the same output. Okay, now if you're wondering why, let me just print this. Okay, so I'm going to print this sum, and we are going just to validate the same. Okay, so you can see the moment I print this, it is giving 700.0, and we're comparing with 700. Ultimately they both are equal values, so it is always going to give you the pass. Clear? So that is another example when to use it. Now very interesting part called boxing and unboxing. So guys, it should be actually boxing and unboxing. So let me make the changes now. Okay, so before we jump into boxing and unboxing, I want to show you the official documentation, guys, so that you will be having clear idea. So this is the wrapper classes. So if you just go to this number, okay, just let me, yeah. So there's a dedicated class called number class, and all these wrapper classes, so 6 wrapper classes will be coming under this class. Okay, so if you see integer, double, long, short, float, and byte, so these 6 wrapper classes will be coming under number, because yes, they belongs to number. But what about 2 other classes like Boolean and character? So if you just go back here, Boolean is a child class of object class, and you will find all the classes related to Boolean here. Same goes with character. Character also direct child class of object class, and you will find all the method related to character under this class. Okay, so again, in case somebody is asking in the interview, what is the parent class of all the wrapper classes? So only for character and Boolean, the parent class is object class, but for other wrapper classes, the parent class is number class. Please remember this. Okay, now let me go back to our code part, and let me take the 4th example. Okay, so in this case I will remove everything. I don't want anything right now. Okay, so let's say I have int a equal to 100, and the moment I say integer b equal to a, okay, so if I print b, so what is b now? B is an object, right? So b is an object, but a was a normal variable. This variable of integer type now we have converted into an object. So this is called as boxing. So what is boxing? Boxing when you're converting from primitive to object class or object. But when you are doing this automatically, okay, so Java do this automatically, so it is known as auto boxing as well. So if you see this is a pure case of auto boxing, because I am not making any explicit call, I'm not giving any explicit condition here. Java is automatically converting variable into an object, so it is called auto boxing. But if I do this manually or with the help of some statement, that will be called normal boxing. If you see this case, right, integer b equal to integer dot value of, in that case it will be normal boxing. So let me do it one by one. So this is known as auto boxing, where I am not doing any changes in the code, I'm just assigning variable into an object. But if you talk about normal boxing case, so first I will be writing integer x equal to, let's say, 90. Now I have to convert this x into an object. Then if I say integer, let's say y equal to integer dot, there's a dedicated method called value of. Okay, so in the value of, if you simply pass either integer or a string, it is going to return you the integer class object. Very interesting method, guys. Please keep an eye here. The moment I say value of, if I pass integer, which is nothing but int primitive data type, it will convert and it will return me integer object. Same thing we can do with the strings as well. So in my case, let me just do it. And if I print this y, so this is called boxing, where I have converted a normal variable into an object, but with the help of this additional method. But same thing Java has done automatically without calling any external method. So this is known as auto boxing. Very straightforward and very easy to remember. Same thing we can apply for unboxing as well. Okay. So now if you see the definition, when we convert object of wrapper class into a respective primitive type, it is known as unboxing. For example, I have taken this, let's say one object called marks into 98. Okay. And if I want to capture its only value, I can directly say marks.intValue. So similar, if I take double and again I will call double value, it will return me the value. But if you don't want to do this, you can directly assign this object into a normal variable. So this is known as auto unboxing. Let's take one by one. So again, if I say a reverse process, this time I will say I have an integer. Okay, let's say m equal to, or let's take some variables. I will say result is 100. Okay. Now if I want to convert this into a normal primitive data type, and if we say, I can say give me the int value. The moment I say int value, it is going to return me a new result. And I can simply print this. Perfect. Earlier we had primitive data type, then we convert it into a wrapper class object. This time we have opposite condition. This time I have actually object of wrapper class. Now I'm extracting the primitive data type value. So this is known as unboxing, but this is, I'm calling it. So it is not auto one, it is just a normal unboxing. But same thing if I do in the next example, that will be auto unboxing. So what does it mean? I will say integer, I will say marks equal to, let's say again 78, and if I have to store this, and I will say new marks equal to marks. So what I did, I converted directly my object into a primitive type. So if I simply use this and let's print this, no issue at all, no error at all. So these are just quick example of boxing, unboxing, auto boxing, auto unboxing. And if you want to refer, then I would recommend you to see their documentation, guys. They're absolutely amazing. You can get all the definitions, okay, and everything about their classes, methods, variables, hierarchy, everything. So the last point, okay, before we jump into the last point, let me quickly just write some text so that it will be for your reference. This is auto boxing. This is just a boxing. This is unboxing. And finally, this is auto unboxing. If you're attending any Java certification, you will be getting at least 2 to 3 questions from wrapper classes. Now if I run this once again, okay, and before we run this, let me show you in a debug mode so that you will get the clear idea about this. Okay, so earlier you can see it was a was just a variable, right? The moment I assigned a into b, Now b is become an object of integer type which also has same value. Okay, now if you take next example, this 90, right? So what is x here? X is just a normal variable of primitive type, but the moment I execute this statement, it will convert into an object, and you can see y is an object of integer type which has this value. So this debugging window will give you additional information, guys. I would highly recommend you to run your examples in debug mode to see the internal process. Now the last point, when to use. I know this video is little long, but it is mandatory to cover all the points so that you will get everything about the wrapper classes. Now the final point, when to use it. Again, there's some small change, when to use them. So while using collection framework, it is mandatory to use wrapper classes. If you don't use wrapper classes, you will start getting error. Now second thing we have seen, to convert primitive data type to object or to convert object to primitive data type, we need these wrapper classes. We have seen a couple of examples. And the last point, okay, that you will see once you start using multiple libraries like Selenium or Spring Boot or any other Java library, you will see we need to use wrapper classes, not the primitive data type, because they directly deal with the objects. So the final point, which like the first point which we had was while using collection we needed. So this is the example. So when you create list, set, map, you always give the wrapper classes. We never give a primitive data type, right? This is how the Selenium has been, the Java has been designed. Because in order to make it pure object-oriented programming language, they work directly with the objects. Okay. If I use this class, if I say array list, you can see it is asking the type, which is nothing but generic. So if I give integer, that I will be creating one array list of integer type. Okay, it will allow me to create array list. Okay, this is allowed. But if I say that I want to use primitive data type here, let's say if I say int, and int, it is not allowed because this collection framework works on the object. Okay, so it is mandatory to provide the wrapper classes. It can be double, it can be integer, float, any other kind of wrapper class, but not the primitive data type. Last point, all wrapper classes that we are using right now, they all are final classes. Okay, this is another very interesting question you might get in interviews. Give me some examples of final classes. So all the wrapper classes that we covered today, all are final classes. Even string class is final class. Okay, so let's say if I say string s equal to, let's say, Mukesh, you can say string class is also final class. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope this is clear. If you still have any doubt or if you want to discuss anything, let me know in the comment section. And if these videos are helping, please share with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.